Sale Sharks' long-awaited return to winning ways in Europe should have been a moment of unfiltered celebration. Instead, it was overshadowed by devastating injury news that could reshape both their domestic ambitions and England's summer plans. Following a hard-fought 26-17 victory over Harlequins in the Investec Champions Cup round of 16, Director of Rugby Alex Sanderson confirmed that two of his most important forwards, Cowan-Dickie and Bevan Rodd, are likely to miss the remainder of the season due to serious injuries. The result itself was significant. It ended a four-match losing streak across Premiership and European competition and secured Sale's place in the Champions Cup quarter-finals, where they will face Leinster Rugby in Dublin. Yet, the cost of that victory may prove enormous. A crucial win with heavy consequences coming into the clash at the Stoop. Sale Sharks were under pressure. A string of defeats had dented confidence and raised questions about their ability to compete on multiple fronts. Facing domestic rivals Harlequins, the stakes were high, not just for progression in Europe, but for restoring belief within the squad. Sale delivered when it mattered. The performance was built on physicality, discipline, and moments of individual brilliance. At the heart of it all was Cowan-Dickie, whose impact on both sides of the ball proved decisive. The England hooker scored 2 tries, showcasing his trademark power and sharp instincts around the breakdown. Alongside him, George Ford orchestrated proceedings with clinical precision. The fly half contributed 16 points from the tee, controlling territory and ensuring Sale capitalized on their opportunities. It was a complete team effort, one that demonstrated resilience and composure under pressure. But as the final whistle blew, attention quickly shifted from celebration to concern. The injury blow that changes everything. In the aftermath of the match, Sanderson delivered the news that no Sale supporter, or England fan, wanted to hear. Cowan-Dickie, who had been instrumental in the victory, is believed to have suffered a fracture in either his wrist or forearm. Meanwhile, Rodd dislocated his shoulder during the match, an injury that was treated on the field but is expected to sideline him for an extended period. Sanderson's assessment was blunt and sobering. Both players are likely to be out for the remainder of the season. Luke is a tough boy and he believes he's broken his wrist or forearm, Sanderson explained. Bevan dislocated his shoulder but had it put back in on the field, but I think that's probably their season over. The implications are significant. Sale now faced the business end of their campaign without 2 key components of their forward pack. The timing could hardly be worse, with crucial Premiership fixtures and a daunting European quarter-final on the horizon. A major setback for Sale's forward pack. In modern rugby, dominance in the front row is often the foundation of success. The loss of Cowan-Dickie and Rodd strips Sale of both experience and physical presence at a critical juncture. Cowan-Dickie is more than just a hooker. He is a dynamic ball carrier, a breakdown specialist, and a leader in the pack. His ability to influence games in tight areas and contribute in open play makes him one of the most complete forwards in the game. Rodd, meanwhile, has developed into a reliable and powerful loose head prop. His scrummaging solidity and work rate around the park have made him an integral part of Sale's system. Without them, Sale will need to reshuffle their pack and rely on depth players to step up. While the squad possesses talent, replacing the combined impact of these 2 internationals is no small task. The challenge becomes even greater when considering their next opponent. The Leinster Test, a mountain to climb. Sale's reward for their victory over Harlequins is a quarter-final clash against Leinster Rugby, one of the most formidable teams in European rugby. Leinster's depth, structure, and attacking prowess make them a daunting prospect for any side, particularly at home in Dublin. Even at full strength, Sale would face an uphill battle. Without key front-row players, the task becomes significantly more difficult. Leinster's ability to dominate possession and apply relentless pressure through multiple phases will test Sale's defensive resilience. The absence of experienced forwards like Cowan-Dickie and Rodd could be felt most acutely in the set-piece and breakdown areas, where Leinster are particularly strong. However, Sale have already shown they are capable of rising to the occasion. Their victory over Harlequins demonstrated a level of grit and determination that could serve them well in Dublin. The question is whether they can replicate that performance under even more challenging circumstances. England's growing selection headache. The impact of these injuries extends beyond club rugby. For England head coach Steve Borthwick, the news presents a significant selection dilemma ahead of the summer international window. England are scheduled to play 3 matches in July as part of the New Nations Championship. The tour begins with a daunting trip to face South Africa national rugby union team in Johannesburg on July 4, followed by fixtures against Fiji national rugby union team in Liverpool and Argentina national rugby union team in Santiago del Estero. Cowan-Dickie and Rodd were both key members of England's recent Six Nations squad. The hookers shared responsibilities with Jamie George, while Rodd provided valuable cover behind Ellis Genge. Their likely absence leaves Borthwick with limited options in the front row. While younger players such as Theo Dan may step into larger roles, the loss of experienced internationals reduces depth and increases pressure on those selected. In a series of physically demanding fixtures, particularly against the world champions South Africa, depth in the pack will be crucial. These injuries could therefore have a direct impact on England's competitiveness. The importance of squad depth. Injuries are an inevitable part of rugby, but their impact often depends on the strength of a team's depth. For Sale, this moment will test the resilience and adaptability of the entire squad. Players who have previously operated on the fringes will now have an opportunity to step into the spotlight. It is in moments like these that teams either falter or discover new strengths. Sanderson will need to draw on all his experience to manage this transition. Tactical adjustments, rotation strategies, and player development will all play a role in navigating the challenges ahead. The same applies to England. Borthwick's ability to identify and integrate replacements will be critical as he prepares for the summer tour. A bittersweet moment for Sale Sharks. Ultimately, this is a story of contrasting emotions. On one hand, Sale Sharks have achieved a significant milestone by reaching the Champions Cup quarter-finals. Their victory over Harlequins was a testament to their quality and determination. On the other hand, the loss of two key players casts a long shadow over their achievements. What should have been a moment of celebration has instead become a period of uncertainty. For Cowan-Dickie and Rodd, the focus will now shift to recovery and rehabilitation. Both players will be determined to return stronger, but the road ahead will require patience and resilience. Conclusion: triumph tinged with uncertainty. Sale Sharks' victory in London will be remembered as a turning point in their season, but also as the moment when their ambitions were tested in the harshest way. The journey to Dublin now carries added weight. Facing Leinster without two of their most influential forwards, Sale must dig deeper than ever before. It is a challenge that will define their season. For England, the implications are equally significant. With a demanding summer schedule approaching, Borthwick must quickly adapt to the loss of key personnel. In rugby, success often comes at a cost. For Sale Sharks, that cost has been painfully high, but their response in the weeks ahead will determine how their story unfolds.